we're recording, and we're going to go live. Well, there we go. Okay. Well, hi, everybody. Usually I'm coming to you ranting or trying to give you good little knowledge nuggets every Wednesday. But today I have a treat for you. Oh, get a warm little snuggie and cuddle up and get ready, because I have one of my really good buddies, Matt Garnes with Nova Home Loans here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The only guy that's better looking than me, and we have the same barber. Matt's an awesome guy, been in the business for a long time, has forgotten more about lending than most of us will ever know, is on it where he sends out a bomb blast to all of his people every single morning, giving market updates. He's data driven, which speaks to my heart. So welcome, Matt.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for coming on. We'll be here to take your questions. We're also going to be, and Matt and I will be talking about a bunch of stuff, but as you guys have questions, feel free to hop on. We're live streaming on Lab Code Agents. We're also on Zoom. So if and when you guys have questions, go ahead and we will get them answered. So Matthew, first of all, so as a lender, my first question to you is, how's business right now?
You know what? It's funny because I'm actually busier now than I was last year, if you can believe it.
Okay.
Just because the massive amount of refinance business that we've seen the last few months, and everyone I talk to, they're like, "Man, I am busier now. This is probably the busiest I've ever been in my entire career." So it's a little ironic, and to add to that, not only is it ironic how busy we are, but working at home, we've shown that we can be as productive, if not more productive, on lockdown as we can at the office. So
that's great.
We'll see who goes back to the office, when this is all done.
Why? What do you attribute to you? Because here's what I'm seeing, being in title. Everybody and their mother says they're busy, right? Now I know because we're friends and we work together, so I know that you're being legit. But I also know there's people out there that say they're busy and they're not. They're full of shit. But I know that you're actually, you have an active, book of business right now. Why do you think that is for you as a lender?
Well, I've been in Vegas since 2003 doing loans. So I got a call last year from someone I did a loan for in 2003 that wanted to refi. So I do. I have a large book of business. I have a lot of people that I can reach out to, that reach out to me, that send me their family and friends and, people they know. So a lot of this, my phone just rings, but I do go through my database every day and I pick out a few refis and give them a call and run some numbers and try to put them in a better financial position than they're in now. And I'm telling you, man, I'm like 12 hours a day now, like just, picking out refis, getting the purchase business when I can. Because we all know purchase business isn't what it used to be. It's dropped down and it's more like 70-30, 80-20 refi versus purchase, where it should be the complete opposite right now. We're in the, what should be the bulk of the buying season, and it's, we're just not there. But if you're working hard and you have those clients and you have that database, there's no reason why you shouldn't be busy.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you is, with the Fed, and the Fed will say that they're lowering rates. How does that affect interest rates? How does that affect like me if I wanted to refinance? If the Fed says that they're lowering to zero or negative rates or stuff like that, what the heck does that all mean?
Well, the Fed went to 0 to 25 basis points. Now, this is the Fed fund rate. This has nothing to do with mortgage rates. That was a big misconception when the Fed first announced a couple months ago on that Sunday. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget. I'm driving back from Arizona and it pops up on my phone, Fed to lower interest rate 0 to 0% was the headline. My phone starts ringing instantly. I want that 0% rate. That's not how it works. That's the rate the banks borrow money at, right? So they're going to in turn loan it out, and they're always going to make about 3 points on that money. So, that's why we see rates of, in the threes, right now roughly. But yeah, it's been like that about 2 months. Rates have been very sideways moving. The Fed has found a very comfortable spot where rates are holding very nicely. At least the last 2 weeks, we've seen hardly any movement to rate at all. Even with the Fed pulling back on their bond buying, still rates are great right now, man. And I don't see rates moving anytime soon because, think about it. We've borrowed what? Several $1 trillion that we have to pay back.
Yeah.
I mean, try to do the numbers on just the interest on $4 trillion at 1% or 2% or 3%. You're never going to pay it back. So the Fed almost has to keep the Fed rate where it is now, just so we can pay that money back in some sort of timely manner.
Do you think that we've hit rock bottom yet with the whole COVID thing?
I hope so. The markets seem to think we have. The markets are responding very positively. Although some areas are reporting a spike in cases, but I think that's going to be a natural consequence. Hopefully nobody panics. But with going into phase 1 this last weekend, I think this next week and a half is going to be very telling, and it's going to dictate if we're going to move into phase 2 or not.
What's some of the biggest questions that you're getting asked right now from realtors that you're working with?
It's usually the rate. What are rates doing? What's going on with loan programs? What are some changes? What do you think is going to happen in the market this year? What do you think rates? It's generally a lot of like speculation questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And what are rates doing? Everyone wants to know about rates. And those are the, I think a lot of agents are just kind of hopeful that we pull out of this in the next 60 days and we can get back to work.
Do you think that it's ever going to go back to, the way it was in January?
I don't think things ever go back to the way they used to be. I think some things will never go back. You and I have talked about, I think this is going to change things forever, certain things. As far as business goes, doing business, I think the aggressive working agents are always going to be busy in any market, same with lenders. I think there's a good possibility we'll see a 30 to 40% drop in agents on the back end of this. The ones that ahead of the curve aren't adapting to the changes we're seeing now. I think a lot of them are just going to be out of the business, which is good for the ones that are left, because I think we're going to see a very robust late buying season this year. And if you're around when the dust settles, I think you can be as busy as you want to be. Yeah.
My 2 cents, not that anybody asked for it, but I love to offer it, is that I think that, Q2 will be okay. I think Q3 could be absolute murder because of just the fallout of everything. And then Q4 is a massive bounce back. But also I feel that we're heading now more towards a tech savvy, video prominent way of interacting, communicating, and marketing ourselves. And that's not going to change. If anything, I think it's going to even, fester and get even larger. And in my opinion, people that are in Southern Nevada, or if you're in a retirement heavy area of the nation, and you have, predominantly people that are in their, so let's say late 60s, 70s, or 80s, a lot of times are not, that adept to technology. And so, what are they going to do? Because it's either you need to get on board with what's going on, or you're in trouble. You're going to be in really, really, really big trouble. And, that's just my 2 cents. But I know, we're here in Vegas, and the biggest problem that's been going, the biggest challenge here is going to be, what's going to be happening with folks that can't really grab onto this thing. I talked to a broker the other day, we're texting, and this person says to me, well, it's after 6 o'clock, so I tend to wind things down now. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And so that to me is like absolutely bananas crazy. What advice would you be giving a realtor, in terms of heading into now what is called, the new normal? What advice would you give them to conduct their business?
I think just forget about Monday through Friday and any sort of hours that you're working, because the one thing I've noticed about being being quarantined for the last couple of months and working at home is that there doesn't seem to be any work hours anymore. Like, because you're not getting up, you're not going to the office, you're not leaving the office, you're not driving home. It's just, it all seems to run together. And my working hours seem to widen, or seem to have widened over the last couple of months. And there doesn't seem to be any hours of, like, Monday's the same as Saturday, and Tuesday's the same as Sunday, and
Right.
6 a.m. is the same as 10 a.m. now. And I think you better get used to it, being just completely plugged in and connected. And there's no 9 to 5, not that there ever was a 9 to 5 in this business, but even so now there's just expect to be on call and able to work at any time of the day or night, weekend. I don't think it really matters anymore.
What type of technology do you as a lender offer? Like how have you pivoted from before, if at all? What type of pivot have you made to grow to grow your business and stay in front of your business?
Not much, to be honest with you. I was we were very paperless. I was meeting very few people in the office as it was. I think most people, a lot depends on the age group. Like the older kind of like to come in. The younger, the 20, 30-year-olds, like I've done loans for the 20 somethings. I've never even talked to them on the phone. Like,
right.
It was just Facebook chat. Send me the link to your application. Tell me what you need. Let's get this done. Like,
That's
I
it.
don't need to come in. I don't need to talk to you. And that's just, I think that's where we're moving towards. Like, I think people still want that personal touch. They don't want to talk to a computer, or they like to have, someone on the other end. But for me, not much has changed except, maybe the view from my desk. But I do miss meeting with people. I prefer face-to-face. I like talking on the phone with a client, but some people just don't, want to do that. So, and I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're showing that in between Zoom and GoToMeetings and things like that, I think it's just going to forever change how we meet with clients.
I think that, even now it's like this two-headed snake, because you've got people that are obeying all the rules and wearing masks and disinfecting and all that. Other people are just saying, I freaking had it. I'm done. I want to go out. I want to hug people I don't even know. I want to go ahead and high five people that I've never even met before. If I see a stranger somewhere on the street, I'm just going to go up and tackle them and tell them I love them. And I think a lot of that's going on right now. I wanted to ask you, is there a simple formula that if somebody is at, say, if I'm at 4% on a 30-year fixed conventional mortgage right now, what would rates have to be at for me to want to go to my lender to refi? Is there like a simple way to figure that out, or is it like all over the place?
I think if you're just looking to save money on the payment, a lot's going to depend on your loan amount, right? If you have a $200,000 loan and you drop half a point, it's probably not worth it. The hassle and the fees and, you know, things like that. I think if you have a $500,000 loan and you're dropping half a point, it's you know, you're looking at $200-300. That's worth it to most people. I just locked someone in today. They're at 4%, and with about an 83, I think it was an 83 basis point buy down. It was about $2,900. I got them 2.99 on a 30-year fix. They're thrilled.
That's
you know,
great.
they're saving about $250, and I ran the numbers for them. Hey, you can take your savings, or you can keep paying what you're paying now. You'll knock 5 years off your loan and you'll save over 50 grand.
Yeah.
Just by making the same payment. So it's really just a matter of running those numbers, showing them what they have now and what they could have. And a lot of clients, I run those numbers and I say, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would love to do your loan, but this doesn't make sense to me.
How many people do you say, how many people do you actually have that conversation with, like percentage, and go, listen, this doesn't make sense right now. I wouldn't do it.
I'd say probably 25% of people that
Wow.
It just doesn't make sense. You know,
At least you're being honest. Good for you.
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys where I'm just going to take your loan and throw it in. I'm going to, like, you know, what if this was my mother, right? Like,
Right.
You know, that's always the moral question.
Good
I
point.
think, would I let my mom go through with this? And
Exactly.
If it's no, then I got to be honest with them and say, I just, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me now.
So here's a fear that I have, and I want you either to confirm it or talk me out of it. You can be my therapist. Is I have a fear that, you know, we're here in Las Vegas and you've got, you know, it's just been eviscerated, you know, now they're starting to open stuff up, but a lot of people here are unemployed. And there's a lot of folks that are, you know, getting pretty good unemployment compensation right now. I just tried to hire someone to come in as an escrow assistant, and she declined because she's making more money on unemployment right now than we were going to pay her. And we pay pretty well. So I thought about that and I thought, my gosh, how many people are out there right now collecting unemployment and thinking, I'm just going to sit back and do this. This is fine. And I'm just going to ride this gravy train for as long as I can and then figure it out later. Have you been dealing with that at all? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that's going to be a problem as these businesses, particularly, you know, like retail and things like that, where they're likely in the lower income, you know, brackets. I just saw something today that 40%, for almost half of people making less than $40,000 a year are out of work. 40%. That's a huge number. So
massive.
If you're making more, which you likely are at that level, you're making more on unemployment, where's your motivation?
Yeah.
You know,
and it's like,
you don't have any.
You don't.
You're at home. You don't have to go out and, you know, deal with the Rona. You're making more money. Why not? Right? You know, why not write it out?
It's some people I think are inherently lazy. And if they're going to take a handout from the government, they're going to take it and say, screw it. I don't care. Let the chips fall where they may. Then on the other hand, you know, I know people that are cross training and learning other facets to do within their job, so they're more marketable, so they can have job security, so they can stay where they're at. So I think that we are and this is something that we've had an offline conversation about a lot, that we are at a time of a reckoning. And it is going to be a time where if you're going to sit back and be lazy and just expect to get a check to come in every month, well, first of all, that's not going to last forever. And secondly, we're going to have to pay that back eventually. And that means taxes. And that means, you know, either taxes and or decrease in government services. Pick one or both. But in my opinion, that's what's coming. And we're going to have to get ready for it. And the people that are sharpening their skills, honing the saw now, trying to cross-train and do whatever they can to stay nimble, agile, mobile, and hostile within their job description, and even be a little bit out of it to help people, all the better, especially for realtors right now. The realtor that says, everything will be fine as soon as we find a vaccine. Well, that could be 2 years from now. I'll worry about it later. Well, this is later. Later's come. So I think that people really need to get focused. And, you've been on the forefront of staying in front of stuff, because it's like you said, a lot of the stuff you're doing already, you're lucky enough and blessed to have a book of business that you're able to touch on literally a daily basis. And you're still staying in front of them, still hustling and getting obviously referrals from them as well, in addition to getting their refis. Am I right?
Yeah. And it's a matter of, you need to get out there, you need to hustle, because if you don't call your clients, someone else is going to, and it goes back to what you said before. You have people that are lazy in all lines of work. There's lazy realtors, there's lazy lenders. And you can choose to sit back, because I've talked to realtors that are like, oh, I'm just going to wait this out. Well, how long, and then what are you going to do on the back end of this? Now 20, 30 other agents have called your clients when you were laying low. They may not be there when you decide to pop up again, right?
Now what? It's, get off your fanny and get to work. And that goes for lenders, people in title, realtors, whomever. Matt, in closing, what's some advice that you would give a realtor right now, from your side of the street, from a lender's side of the street? What's something that you would empower a realtor with right now?
I would say hustle harder than you've hustled before, right? Get your buyers lined up, get their ducks in a row, get them ready to buy. Because if your buyer's going to be ready in, let's say, 2 months, why not get them ready? What I'm doing with my buyers that can't buy right now, I'm getting them into our credit services department, right? You've got
great.
60, 90 days or so. Let's get your FICOs in the 700s. So when you're ready to buy, your rate's going to be a quarter point better, and you're going to save thousands of dollars on your mortgage. Let's make sure that you have enough money put aside. Let's get everything ready in a nice little package with a bow on it. So in 2 months, now you come to me, now you have a 640 credit score. We could have got you in the 700s by now. It's just get your buyers ready, get them lined up, because if you do that, if you put the work in now and you plant those seeds, man, when this thing opens up, you're going to make more money than you've ever made before.
Yeah, that's it.
If you're just going to lay low and wait until things open up, now you're beginning back here when you could have been up here with 10 buyers behind you, just ready to shoot out the cannon, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
So basically it's hustle and hustle hard and hustle smart, and you'll have job security, or blame everybody else and be in a fetal position with PTSD and sucking your thumb under the dining room table and go to work at 7-Eleven and upsell people to triple gulps. That's about it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, if that's what you want to do, but
exactly
I'm a big proponent of get up, get ready, bust your ass, and good things are going to happen. I mean, we've always had to make adjustments to our market, man. I went through 08, 09, right?
Yeah.
So it's not all, you're A to B every single day for your whole career.
Right.
You're all over the place, and you got to adjust, and you got to make adjustments, and you figure out a way to make it work, or you don't, and you're not in the business anymore. All
right, man. That's why you're a stud. Well, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you? What can they do to get a hold of you?
You can call or text. Do you want me to give my phone number?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, can I do that? Okay. 702-526-3133. Talk or text. If you're shy and you want to email, it's Matt jeff.garnes@novahomeloans.com.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. You're a stud.
Thanks, Jeff. Always a pleasure, man. I always enjoy our conversations.
Be well. We'll talk soon. Thanks.
All right. See you, man.